Hey guys, how's it going? It's 8-Bit Eric, and a couple days ago already, Sega had a big day full of announcements. They had the introduction of the fog cloud gaming thing that has to do with the arcades, and to be honest, I was quite let down with that announcement. It was like all week this hype had been from I think Famitsu. They were hyping it up that Sega was going to have a big, huge announcement. Everybody was making their predictions and stuff like that, and then fog cloud gaming. Okay, anyways, let's forget about that. I don't even have an opinion or anything on that because I really don't care, to be honest. I have absolutely no interest with that. I mean, it sounds cool and everything like that, but the other news they had actually piqued my interest. They announced a Sega Game Gear Micro would be coming out, and initially I was like, holy cow, this is going to be awesome. I had a Game Gear growing up. I used to play the heck out of it. I still have my games and everything. It was one of my most favorite consoles. I remember playing Sonic Chaos like all the time, Sonic Triple Trouble, and the Sonic games that were on the Master System and the Game Gear were actually quite fun. Not too many people talk about them, but the Game Gear Master System games for Sonic were essentially the same ones. And I used to think it was pretty cool that playing Sonic on the go in full color was something that you can do, despite the batteries being atrocious. The battery life was horrible on the Game Gear. I used to carry that big cylinder Game Gear external battery thing around with me in my pocket and some headphones, and I used to play it all the time. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers was another game I liked. Psychic World, a few of those. So I grew up playing the Game Gear, but this announcement piqued my interest, and they completely bombed it. So I'm sure everybody's well aware of what the Sega Game Gear Micro is going to be. In case you're not, I guess we could just go over it just a little bit. So Sega Game Gear Micro is $50 with 4 games each. But they're not just making one. They're making 4 different ones. So there's a black model, a blue model, a yellow model, and a red model. So, of course, obviously, they're trying to cater and make this enticing for collectors. Because, scalpers and retro gaming enthusiasts like myself, for the most part, will go out and buy each one of these. So, 4 times 50, $200 total if you're looking to collect these. Now, each one comes with 4 different games preloaded. So, not like as SNES Mini or an NES Classic or TurboGrafx Classic or a PlayStation 1 Classic. These games are only 4 to each little controller. You're not going to be getting a best of collection. You're not going to be getting like 20 or 30 assortments for those. So the black model comes with Sonic the Hedgehog, Puyo Puyo 2, Outrun, and Royal Stone. Sonic is pretty solid, obviously. Outrun, not a bad thing. I don't know so much about the Game Gear version. Puyo Puyo 2, I don't even think came to the United States, and I'm not sure what Royal Stone is. But, alright. Now, this one, the blue variant, has, another solid lineup. We got Sonic Chaos, Gunstar Heroes, Sylvan Tale, and Baku Baku Animal. So it seems like there's 2 games that came to the United States and 2 that didn't, once again. And then the yellow comes with Shining Force Gaiden, Shining Force The Sword of Hyja, Shining Force Gaiden Final Conflict, and Nazu Puyu Aruru no Ru. So that seems like all Japanese games right there. And then, of course, the last version is Revelations Demon Slayer, Megami Tensei Gaiden, GG Shinobi, and Columns. Now, I think I've played GG Shinobi. I think it might be the same as the Shinobi that I have. But yeah, keep in mind these are being released in Japan. As of right now, there's no confirmation of a Western release. So a lot of these are going to be Japanese only games that are catering towards the Japanese market. For whatever reason, maybe the Game Gear was bigger in Japan than it was in the United States. I know Game Boy killed the Game Gear in the United States. Now, the interesting thing about the hardware itself is the size. It's going to be quite small. As a matter of fact, a little too small. I have little hands, but even I think that this is going to be a bit uncomfortable. So the hardware itself is 80 millimeters times 43 millimeters times 20 with a 1.15 inch display. So that's kind of tiny. A 1.5 inch 1.15 inch display. Like you're literally just going to be looking at a screen that's not much bigger than like that. You're going to get an eyesore on this. Now it's going to have a single speaker, a headphone jack. It charges off of USB, but it also can run off of 2 AA batteries. And looking at it, I mean, it looks like a authentic miniature Game Gear. The D-pad does look like it protrudes out quite a little bit, and then of course you got the 2 buttons, the blue start button. It looks like a faithful representation of the actual thing. Now it says, right here the article even says, you may be wondering how exactly you're meant to play games on a 1.15-inch display. Well, they solved it. They're giving you an unnecessary attachment, which it wouldn't be Sega if it didn't have an unnecessary attachment. They have the big window display that's included with it. I mean, okay, so you think of like the Sega CD, the 32X, everything they added on, and then the Game Gear even had like the auto TV tuner, had the big window display, had all sorts of like huge gadgets. To me, it's kind of like, does it defeat the purpose that it has the Sega big window? Like isn't the idea of it supposed to be something micro? The idea of having it fit in the palm of your hand is what's supposed to entice you to buy it or whatever, and then you're just gonna have a screen on it anyway. Like, it's gonna look ridiculous. You might as well just made it. You should have just made it the size of like an iPhone 11 or something, so it could have been easier to play on. So it says it's going to be available pre-order in Japan right now. It's 4,980 yen, which is about $50 American for each one. So if you want all 4, it's gonna be about $200 American. And they're going to ship October 8th. So this is coming out in the fall. Again, there's no word on a Western release. It's just sometimes, oh man, I don't want to say Sega's let me down in the past, but recently with like some of their decisions, at times it's just like, come on. And this is the classic, mini phase still. It started with the NES Classic. They banked huge. They sold millions of stuff, and then they brought the SNES one out. PlayStation 1 followed suit, but it was kind of a bust. A lot of people had mixed opinions about the PS1 Classic. And of course, the TurboGrafx Mini just came out recently. So it looked like Sega was obviously going to put its hand in I guess, in the pie, so to speak. I don't know. I see where they were going with this. It was kind of interesting that they chose to pick the Game Gear as their console. Don't you think maybe like a Dreamcast Mini would have probably did a lot better? I'm sure a lot more people would have bought the Dreamcast Mini over the Game Gear Micro. Who knows, honestly. Again, the decision to have the big window accessory as the peripheral for it kind of puzzles me, because it kind of defeats the purpose of it being micro. You got to carry an extra little piece around and clamp it onto your thing, and overall it just sounds like it's going to be something cheap. For $50 for this, I have no idea. I would much rather just buy an original Game Gear or play Game Gear games on my Retro Freak than check this out. And then to have it split across only 4 games on each one, it's clearly looking like a cash grab here, that Sega was just wanting to do something that they wanted to celebrate their 60th anniversary, obviously, but then seems like they got a little greedy with splitting it up and stuff like that. To me, 4 games isn't enough to cover the price. So I think this is a kind of a crap idea, if I'm be quite honest. I'm sure Sega enthusiasts and fanboys are going to flame me for that, but it's obviously not worth it in my opinion here. I'm not even interested in this at all, even remotely. My heart sank because I was looking forward to seeing if Sega was going to have some kind of huge shining announcement, and no, it sucked ass, just like my dog is right there in the background. Daisy, hey mama, what do you think of the Game Gear and the Game Gear Micro? Exactly, my thoughts. So anyways, guys, I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed in this, and then the fog gaming. Like, you would think the way they were hyping it up, and Famitsu was hyping it up, that we would have been getting like a Dreamcast 2 or something. But you definitely got to keep your expectations in check at times when it comes to rumors and innuendos and stuff like that. I just wanted to share my thoughts. I was getting asked about it in my streams. the last couple days, and I said I was going to make a video. Anyways, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about the micro or the macro, whatever the fuck it's called, the micro. And comment down below. Is this something you're going to get? Is this something you're going to pass on? Let me know a little bit more about the fog gaming, because I really haven't even looked into it. I had no interest. And subscribe if you haven't. Leave a thumbs up or a like. I think I'm going to do some more of these news discussion pieces, talk about gaming and stuff like that, kind of put a little bit more variety into the content. And of course, as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks a lot for watching, as always. Peace out.